Shocking statement. Rome didn't fail its values. Its values were written to frighten, break, and rule. This episode shows 10 ways the system made pain public and obedience automatic. From staged killings to silent erasures, we're not chasing rumors, we're tracing methods. Each example reveals how terror wasn't an outburst, but an instrument. Stay through all 10, and the word civilized will feel different in your mouth. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Number 1, gladiators slaughtered for sport. This image captures a courtroom with sand. Contracts ruled it. A referee's hand, a sponsor's purse, and a clause decided mercy or the final blow. Gladiators were trained assets. They ate to gain bulk, learned match styles, and fought in pairs designed for show. But magistrates staged these bouts as civic duty, a gift to the people and a step in a career. The Munera tied office to blood. Fighters swore to endure fire, chains, and the sword. Editors balanced costs, pageantry, and order, counting armor hire, animal fees, and prize money. Each type had a lane, net and trident, shield and sword, heavy or agile, and surgeons waited ringside with tools and salves. Tombstones praise skill, but also mark short lives and bought graves. Proof of care with a price tag law called the killing a benefaction and a lesson in courage, endurance, and fate. From staged duels, the state moved to staged deaths for everyone else. Number 2. Public executions in the Colosseum. At midday, the noise changed. The Meridianum Spectaculum paused the games and turned the floor into a lesson. Execution was theater. Offenders filed in as noxii, a legal class marked as harmful, and the script fit the crime. Damnatio ad bestias set bodies against cages. The handler picked the beast and meaning to match the charge. Other deaths followed set pieces. Burning, crucifixion, or a myth staged as if on stage, where the condemned played the victim from a tale everyone knew. Local law sorted offenses and sent sentences here. Magistrates read the rules, but imperial power could step in. A nod from the top granted mercy or tightened the noose, and the crowd learned to read that gesture. Blood taught the statute. The arena enforced policy in plain view, with cheers as commentary. If the arena taught citizens, the household taught owners. Number 3. Slaves tortured for amusement. In Roman law, a slave ranked as instrumentum vocale, a speaking tool with a voice only under torture. A body counted as property, and pain translated that body into evidence. Owners staged punishments at home like a sideshow. A cellar room served as a private prison. Beatings came first, but marks lasted longer. Branding set a sign. Iron collars fixed identity and warned bystanders. Testimony from a slave counted only when wrung out under torment. So courts built truth on screams, and households copied the method for order and display. Jurists wrote the rules, and estate manuals treated pain like maintenance. Feed, assign, punish. 3 steps in a ledger. Collars and scarred skin survive as proof of policy, not rage. Violence worked because it was routine, priced, and expected. When lives were property, even newborns could be priced at 0. Number 4. Infants abandoned in the streets. A father's nod settled a life. Under Patria Potestas, the male head accepted or rejected a newborn, and the law let that choice stand without review. Exposure worked like a quiet policy. Poverty, unwanted births, and a preference for sons drove it. But the rule came from patriarchy. Dumps, crossroads, and roadside edges served as drop points so others could find the child. Some died fast. Some were lifted and raised for sale or kept as household labor. Letters and legal notes speak of the act in passing, which shows how normal it felt in daily life. Cities bore the mark. High infant death, skewed sex ratios, and a steady trickle into slavery shaped the streets. Family law fed the market. neglect became supply with buyers waiting. At the top, fear took a subtler form. Number 5. Poison and assassination among the elite. The marble halls ran on quiet threats. Smiles hid stakes, and dinner could double as a test. Courts punished open violence, but palace politics preferred silence. Poison and plots served as policy because they left no riot and few witnesses. Informers, known as delatores, fed the machine. They filed charges for reward and rank, and they turned whispers into trials. The stage was treason law, the lex majestatis. Its reach stayed broad on purpose. Sedition, insult, and hint of disloyalty fit under one roof, and convictions let the state seize estates' confiscations, enriched treasuries and the accusers who helped. So rulers kept process in daylight and fear in chambers. Kitchens came under watch, tasters and tight staff lists acting as shields while intrigue worked around them. Violence at the top showed the law's double face. Process in public, poison in private. Public religion had its own edge. Number 6. Human sacrifices and blood rituals. Rome called itself rational, yet it kept rites that drew real blood. The law said no to human sacrifice, but fear opened side doors when omens felt heavy and safety seemed at stake. In crises, officials read signs and asked for stronger cures. Prodigy rites could point to human offerings as last resort. A stark answer to dread funerary games offered a workaround. Blood at graves stood in for older rites, shifting the act from altar to arena while keeping the logic of appeasement. Alongside that, the state calendar ran on mass animal slaughter. Festival after festival burned meat on public stones. The scale itself a message of order and devotion. Antiquarian notes and ritual schedules show where rule met need. Reason and ritual aligned when fear demanded spectacle. The cross turned that logic into a daily street sign. Number 7. Crucifixions as daily punishment. The cross was a billboard for obedience. It worked in daylight, at roads and gates, where eyesight did the policing. Targets ranked low. Slaves, rebels, and the foreign-born met this sentence, built to prolong breath and shame. Law steered citizens to other penalties, but left this for those outside its circle, reinforcing rank and rule. Sieges turned it into policy. Rows of crosses lined approaches as terror campaigns. One eyewitness wrote, "The soldiers out of rage and hatred amused themselves by nailing their prisoners in different postures, and so great was their number that space could not be found for the crosses nor crosses for the bodies." Soldiers staged bodies for maximum view, choosing spots that trapped the eye and slowed feet. Terror worked by repetition, not rarity. Statute and custom kept it common enough to teach. Even inside the walls, decay carried a lesson. Number 8. Plagues and open sewers in the cities. Aqueducts dazzled, but gutters told the truth. Clean arches fed fountains, while alleys pooled waste and carried stink back to the door. Public works sat beside risk. Crowded insulae pressed families into thin walls, with shared latrines and night pots dumped to the street. Drains clogged in storms. Crews cleared them, but not fast, and runoff mixed with slaughterhouse scraps and market sweepings. When epidemic waves hit, the state set burial rules, moved corpses faster, and watched travel to keep labor steady. Urban digs show limits in pipe reach and sewer grade, a system strong at the core and weak at the edge. Writers described sick seasons and short tempers, notes that matched the layers of refuse and hurried graves. Plague shifted wages, pulled hands from fields, and reset rents. Engineering glory sat on a base of managed squalor. Some crowds faced the flames by design, not by accident. Number 9. The burning of Christians for entertainment. Night games needed light. Torches ran out. So people burned. Persecution moved with local mood and imperial will. Refusal to sacrifice counted as impiety and as a threat to order. Officials framed it as a test of loyalty: offer grain and incense, or face the stake. Under Nero, after the Great Fire, Christians took the blame. Source 3593923 notes torture and crucifixion as part of the purge. That script set tone for later acts, though reach and tempo shifted by region. Martyr tales linger on staged deaths. They describe burning at the stake, pyres in view, and even victims boiled alive inside heated bronze animals. Roman records show inquiries, edicts, and municipal action that could turn charges into shows. The goal was display. Fire made belief visible, and law made it legible. Beyond the capital, whole peoples were processed into property. Number 10. Conquered peoples, enslaved and erased. Maps grew when people vanished or marched in chains. Conquest stocked markets, drained towns, and rewrote borders like a ledger. Sieges ended with mass sales. Captives queued for auctions, sorted by age, skill, and price, then shipped along roads and ports that ran on profit. Some cities did not recover. Officials ordered ground leveled, walls pulled down, and returns banned. Land passed into imperial hands by edict, turning fields and quarries into state revenue. After revolts, terror framed the lesson. Punitive sacks, crucifixions to break will, then columns of prisoners sent to buyers.